Hello everyone, my name is Krishna Mohan. I'm going to walk you through a new workflow that I have built, which is primarily Telegram automation for content generation, right, using n8n. So in this, what I have done is first, I have created a bot in Telegram, which is pretty easy. You can use bot father and create a bot in Telegram. And by creating a bot, you can essentially use that as your input interface, right? So any command that you give to the bot, you can use that as a trigger to initiate the workflow, right? And the other channel that I've created is, a Telegram channel where I'm using that as my output, where I'm going to publish the results of the workflow or the action that happens, right? So jumping into the workflow, I'll just quickly explain what this is. So here in the workflow, essentially the Telegram trigger is the first step, which is the input that we send to the bot, right, to generate a particular content. Let's say I want certain content to be generated about particle physics or about AI in cybersecurity or healthcare, updates, or these kind of prompts can be given, which will essentially be passed by a topic parser, and whether it validates whether it's a command or a general term, because we don't want the bot to just run the content generation for every input. We want certain keywords, so it filters out the keywords, and it only if there is a keyword, predefined keyword in it, it moves it to the content generation phase, right? So in the content generation phase again, this is essentially, I'm not just parsing the content that an LLM generates, but I'm actually using that to be, to further move into the next phase of evaluation as well. So, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So the content generation here essentially uses an LLM. Again, I'm using an open router here to switch between models, because sometimes I want to generate news content or something that requires web search with more current events. Sometimes I want a more structured content, where I could use probably a GPT or a cloud or Gemini. So I can keep switching the models here by using an open router account. So that's what I'm using here as an LLM. And essentially this content that is generated is sent out in a specified format, output format, which is already in the prompt. So the output parser will essentially extract the pieces of the content that I'm generating. And again, it does some verification to make sure that there are no blanks and things like that. And that is when the magic starts, which is the evaluation phase. So in the evaluation phase, the AI, this is another LLM. Again, I can use a more superior LLM here, right, to do the evaluation. So this model essentially, or this agent here, essentially takes the output of the content generation. It runs it through certain evaluation, predefined metrics or predefined steps that I've already provided in the prompt, and it is going to generate an output. And that output is going to include a score. So essentially what I'm asking the AI to do is to provide a score. Let me just see, a reason and areas of improvement. So essentially it's going to come up with, okay, what's the score, whether it is on a scale of 10, and what is the reason why it scored it like that, and what are the areas of improvement, right? So that is the output I get from this LLM chain, which again, based on the score validation, if the score is below a certain threshold, I'm not pushing that to the channel. I'm actually sending it back. I'm triggering a regeneration by appending the feedback that is sent by this evaluation LLM, and I'm sending it back to the first LLM to regenerate the input again, right? To regenerate the output again. Sorry. So if the score is validated and it passes the threshold, that is when the content would be formatted and sent to the Telegram channel as an output. But in between, in order to not lose the number of prompts that are generated and how the AI is performing, I have also created a Google Sheet, and essentially as soon as the second AI here, the LLM chain, gives its evaluation report, I'm actually feeding that as well to a Google Sheet, so that, I'll just simply show you the Google Sheet here real quick. So just have an archive. This is the first sheet. So the topic, the title, insight, what is the value, the hashtags, these are the different components of my post that I'm generating, right? And the score, the reason, and improvement are the items that the feedback loop is giving. So essentially what I'm doing here is making sure that all the input is captured, and also the evaluation feedback is captured for my audit later, so that I know which ones the AI is doing right and which ones the AI is not able to evaluate properly. Right. So this is essentially a high-level overview of the workflow. Let's just push this a little aside here to the right and start giving it a prompt. The workflow is already active, so I can go ahead and give it a prompt. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give an incorrect prompt. I'm not going to give the direct prompt because I want to show the workflow related to command validation here. So if it doesn't receive the right command, the bot is not going to initiate content generation. So I'm just going to say hi. As you can immediately see, it says this bot is currently used only for channel administration, because that is the reply that I have configured. So it doesn't respond to any message, it only responds to specific commands. So now I'm going to use the command which I have loaded, configured it with, which is prompt. So if I say prompt and I say AI in healthcare, so I want to write about a post about, maybe just on social media, or I want to just put a WhatsApp status of about something latest happening in AI in healthcare. So I hit enter. So this entire workflow starts running, and I'll also keep the Google Sheet open. So this workflow runs, it goes through the loops, whatever it has to, and finally we get an output here, as you can see, saying ambient AI listening tools for / clinical documentation burden. So it brings up some of the latest innovations that are happening in this field or something. I mean, this prompt is something that we can completely customize. So if your target is specifically about a particular software, and recent developments in the software, we could do that. If your content is about specific research that is happening in a particular area, we could also use that, right? So there are different ways we can configure the content generation part, but at a high level, this is how the workflow works. And you can also see that this output is going to be there in our Google Sheet as well. So AI in healthcare, this is the same prompt that same response that we just saw, that was published to the Telegram message. So I still have some ideas on how we could probably take it forward, maybe optimize it. I'll keep working on improving this to see if there are any specific use cases that can be developed. But this has been a pretty interesting journey so far. I mean, n8n is a wonderful platform to learn really cool things, and a lot of things that can be done just with APIs is pretty amazing. So I encourage you to also explore this platform. If not, at least let's connect. If you have some ideas you want to try, let's connect, and I'm happy to collaborate and learn together. Thank you.